Karma doesn't miss a name, and its calling roll. Spirit warriors, welcome back. But before we dive in, let me ask you this. Have you ever wondered why people who wronged you seem to be falling apart one by one? Like, out of nowhere, their lives start spiraling, their smiles fade, their fake confidence turns into visible confusion. And deep down, you know what's happening. They messed with the wrong soul, they messed with the chosen one. There was once a woman who kept getting sabotaged at work. Every good idea she had, someone else stole. Every time she got close to a breakthrough, someone threw a wrench in her path. But she stayed calm, kept her head down, prayed, worked hard, trusted God. Fast forward 2 years later, everyone who tried to destroy her got exposed. The backstabbers lost their jobs, the liars got caught red-handed, and the woman? She's now running her own company, living her truth. That's divine karma, spirit warriors. That's the universe saying, don't touch what I've anointed. As the scripture says in Psalm 105:15, touch not mine anointed and do my prophets no harm. Chosen ones, you've been quiet. You've been misunderstood. You've been laughed at, betrayed, isolated, even demonized. But now God is flipping the script. One by one, karma is collecting the receipts. People who once dragged your name through the mud are choking on the dust of their own deception. Let's be real. You didn't ask for drama. You didn't provoke anyone. You were just out here minding your spiritual business, walking in love, being authentic, trying to help others heal. But for some reason, your light was too blinding for their demons. Here's the kicker. They thought you were powerless. But what they didn't know is that you are a spiritual sniper, cloaked in divine protection, backed by universal justice. The Most High keeps tabs on you like a treasure, and anyone who tries to bury you is actually planting the seed of their own downfall. The pit they dug for you, spirit warrior, they're now falling into themselves. So if you've been wondering why things seem to be crashing for your enemies lately, it's not a coincidence, it's karma. It's divine payback. And this video, it's going to lay it all out so you understand exactly what's going on, why it's happening, and what you should do moving forward. So stay with me till the very end. Because what you'll learn today is not just for closure, it's for spiritual elevation. It's to remind you that you are not alone, never were, and that every tear, betrayal, and loss is being compensated with power, clarity, and peace. Let's go. Point 1, the universe sees everything. Angels, I know it gets heavy. You walk through this world with quiet strength, carrying battles no one sees, wearing smiles no one knows are stitched together with invisible threads of faith and resilience. You love deeply, forgive quickly, and give without expectation. But sometimes it feels like you're doing it all while being completely unseen. Like your goodness evaporates into thin air the second you offer it. But hear this loud and clear, the universe is never blind, and neither is the Most High. See, the Creator doesn't operate like man. There's no jury box in heaven, no gavel slamming down demanding evidence. God already knows. Divine intelligence doesn't miss a beat. That lie they told to ruin your reputation, He heard it. That cold betrayal behind your back, He saw it. That fake hug that came with a hidden dagger, counted and noted. He is the witness of all witnesses. And here's the most mind-blowing part. Heaven doesn't deal in revenge, it deals in restoration. What they took from you, you're getting it back tenfold, but refined, elevated, and soaked in divine favor. Divine justice doesn't need to announce its arrival. It doesn't post on Instagram or come with flashing lights. It moves like the wind, unseen, but unstoppable. And when it lands, it shakes the ground beneath the feet of those who once mocked you. Now let's talk science for a moment. Energy is never lost, only transferred. That negative energy they threw at you, it didn't disappear. It boomeranged, it ricocheted off your spiritual shield and is now hitting them like a freight train in slow motion. And that's not a curse, it's karma aligned with cosmic balance. Ancient cultures believed that divine justice worked on the principle of Ma'at, universal order. Today, quantum physics nods at it too. Intention creates vibration, and vibration attracts outcome. So if you've been hearing about their sudden health declines, financial crashes, or exposed secrets, know this: God didn't forget you. Karma didn't sleep. The same people who laughed while you were crying are now scrambling to clean up the mess they swore they'd never make. You, beloved angel, are divinely protected, even when it feels like you're alone. Keep walking, keep shining, because while they planted seeds of destruction, God was watering your miracle behind the scenes. Point two, they played themselves trying to play you. Here's the truth. Chosen ones, they thought you were the weak one, the quiet one, the overlooked one, the one they could manipulate, gaslight, and toss aside like an afterthought. But what they didn't know, what they never saw coming, was that your stillness wasn't weakness. It was power in its rawest form, waiting for the divine signal to rise. Narcissists and manipulators operate like stage magicians, flashing distractions, false smiles, and sleight-of-hand tactics to keep their victims disoriented and small. But you, Earth Angel, are no ordinary spectator in their little circus. The moment they tried to drag your spirit through their mess, they unknowingly flipped a sacred switch. Your spiritual DNA activated. Your soul armor clicked into place, and suddenly their illusions weren't enchanting anymore, they were pitiful. They tried to dim your light because they couldn't control it. They wanted you to doubt yourself because your confidence shook their facade. But instead of crumbling under the pressure, you transmuted it. Their betrayal became your training ground. Their gossip became your spotlight. They triggered what the ancients call a divine reckoning. You see, while they were playing human chess, plotting moves, manipulating hearts, and stacking pawns, you were aligning with a higher timeline. You weren't reacting. You were ascending. You weren't calculating revenge. You were calling in protection from realms they can't even pronounce. Now look around. The same lies they crafted to destroy you. They're echoing back, the traps they set, catching their own feet. This isn't coincidence, it's karma in full rotation. And karma, dear angels, doesn't knock politely. It shows up with receipts and no return policy. It doesn't need your permission. It only needs evidence. And oh, did they give it evidence? Plenty of it. The ancient scriptures say, "Touch not my anointed and do my prophets no harm." But they forgot. They didn't know your name is etched in the divine blueprint, that you are hidden, not because you're unworthy, but because you are sacred. They laughed when you cried, mocked when you stumbled, but now they watch in disbelief as you rise with grace and power they can't imitate. That's the thing about chosen souls. The fire doesn't burn them, it baptizes them. So walk boldly, spirit warrior. Let the judgment unfold. You don't need revenge when you're moving in divine justice. Point three, your silence was your power. You didn't clap back, you didn't seek revenge, you didn't stoop to their level. And that, my angels, rattled them in ways they never expected. While they waited for the drama, the explosion, the retaliation, they got silence, but not just any silence. It was divine, it was dignified. It was the silence of someone who knows their power and doesn't waste it proving a point. And believe me, nothing unsettles the wicked more than someone who refuses to feed the fire they set. Because here's what the wise have always known: you don't argue with fools. Proverbs 26. 4 even warns us, do not answer a fool according to his folly, or you yourself will be just like him. See, when you argue with someone committed to misunderstanding you, you're not defending your honor, you're just draining your energy. And you, angel, were smart enough to know that. You let God handle them, and he did. Not in the way of lightning bolts and loud judgment, but in the slow, simmering realization that they lost access to a rare soul, you. Your silence wasn't weakness. It was chess, not checkers. Spiritual warfare is often quiet. It doesn't always look like swords and battles. It looks like self-control in the face of provocation. It looks like turning the other cheek, not out of fear, but because your eyes are fixed on a higher reward. While they thought you were shrinking, you were actually soaring, rising, elevating, shedding old versions of yourself that no longer fit your destiny. And the wildest part, your peace spoke volumes. It screamed, I'm healed, I'm whole, I'm not playing your game. Your growth made their drama irrelevant. Your healing made their rumors echo in a vacuum, and now they're haunted, not by ghosts, but by the clarity of your calm. You didn't yell. You didn't expose, you just became. You chose elevation over retaliation, and because of that, heaven took your side, the universe took note, your angels clapped silently behind the scenes. And those who tried to break you are now left to witness your glow up in mute regret. You didn't just survive, you transcended. And nothing shakes darkness like a light that refuses to dim. Point 4, the exposure has begun. Woo! Spirit warriors, it's getting real out here, and the plot twist, you don't even have to clap back. Nope. Just be. That's right. Your silence, your peace, your glow up is doing all the heavy lifting. People are out here slipping on the very banana peels they laid out for you. And it's not even karma knocking. It's justice moonwalking in broad daylight. It's almost poetic how the truth always finds a mic and a spotlight, even when the liars think they've pulled off the performance of the century. Here's the divine science behind it. The universe runs on spiritual law, not ego logic. And one of those laws is what's hidden in darkness must come to light. So when you're a chosen one, marked by the Most High, covered in divine favor, any weapon formed against you isn't just blocked, it boomerangs. Your enemies may try to sabotage your name, smear your character, or twist your truth, but their guilt begins to rot their own roots. Psychologically, guilt and cognitive dissonance cause people to act out in bizarre ways. Their behaviors start slipping. Their contradictions become glaring. They become their own downfall without even realizing it. The wild part? They start exposing themselves. No interrogator needed, no surveillance. Their own spirit testifies against them. That's what happens when someone tries to drag down a soul covered in divine light. They burn themselves trying to dim yours. Their lies come with expiration dates, and honey, we've reached the spoiled milk stage. Suddenly, people who were once convinced by their acts start noticing the holes in the costume. The timelines aren't matching, the fake love feels faker, and that mask they wore so confidently, melting like wax in holy fire, people are whispering now. Wait, didn't they betray the one who never did them wrong? Weren't they the ones who tried to block that chosen one's path? And just like that, the spell breaks. The illusion crumbles, and there you are, untouched, unbothered, and divinely vindicated. This isn't just about revenge, it's about revelation. When you carry the light, you expose every shadow around you without lifting a single sword, because the battle was never yours to fight. It was God's. And guess what? The victory was always written in your name. Stay shining, spirit warrior. Let their guilt do the talking. Point 5, they're obsessed because they can't replace you. Let's get one thing straight. They absolutely miss you, but not in the way most people think. It's not just about missing your face or your voice. No, what they're yearning for is far deeper, far rarer. They miss the energy you radiated, that luminous, peaceful aura that shifted the entire atmosphere when you walked into a room. They miss your spiritual grounding, your calm in the chaos, your laugh that felt like sunlight after a long storm. You were the kind of soul people don't encounter twice, and they knew it. But instead of valuing your light, they tried to extinguish it. It's a strange and tragic pattern in human behavior. Psychology even has a name for it: psychological reactance. When someone feels they can't control or possess a person who radiates independence, peace, and power, they try to diminish them, subconsciously or not. You, Earth Angel, were a mirror, and what they saw in you reflected what they lacked in themselves. So instead of embracing you, they tried to distort you. Now here's the twist. Your absence has become more powerful than your presence ever was. They're lurking in the digital shadows, checking your social media stories, watching your silent rise with envy and regret. You've become a living reminder of what they lost, and more painfully, of what they'll never get back. And don't be fooled, they talk about you a lot, sometimes in admiration, often in confusion, always in obsession. Neurologically speaking, the brain struggles with unresolved emotional connections. When someone loses access to a source of dopamine and peace like you, those neural pathways keep firing. It becomes a loop of longing, a phantom limb they can't stop feeling. But that void they sit in now, that gnawing emptiness, it's karma, not just poetic justice. It's the universe's way of whispering. You don't discard divine energy and expect to be whole, so don't you dare shrink. Keep glowing, keep evolving, because what they feel now is the echo of what once was, while you, on the other hand, are becoming a walking sunrise. And no imitation will ever compete with the original light you carry. Point 6, you're being elevated, and they can't go with you. Chosen ones, this is not just a feel-good season, this is your rising season. The shift you've been sensing, it's not your imagination. Your prayers have been heard in the unseen realm, and your healing has become the groundwork for your divine elevation. You've been doing the soul work, facing your shadows, breaking generational cycles, crying out in silence, and now the heavens are responding. But with this rise comes a mysterious, often painful twist. Subtraction. Yes, when God starts removing people from your life, it may feel like heartbreak, but it's actually holy math. It's not rejection, it's protection. See, not everyone is equipped to go where you're being sent. Some connections were only designed to be temporary scaffolding, not permanent architecture. They helped build you, but they weren't meant to dwell in the house of your destiny. It's a spiritual law. Elevation requires separation. Look at nature. When a rocket launches into orbit, it sheds its boosters, necessary for takeoff, but dead weight in higher altitudes. That's how it works for you. You needed those people during a certain phase, but now they're misaligned with your purpose, your frequency, your calling. And here's the most poetic part. The same people who doubted you, used you, or tried to diminish your light will be forced to watch you ascend from a distance. Not because you're petty, but because God is intentional. Your glow-up becomes their wake-up call. That quiet, consistent work you've done on your character, your spirit, and your mindset, it's not going unnoticed. You're not just leveling up in success, you're leveling up in purity, in clarity, and divine connection. That demands cleaner energy, deeper faith, and stronger discernment. Psychologically, when we evolve, our vibrational frequency changes. Dr. David Hawkins, in his Map of Consciousness, explains that higher states of consciousness like love, joy, and enlightenment naturally repel lower vibrations like shame, guilt, and envy. That's not metaphysical fluff, it's emotional physics. The old can't stick to the new you. Your spiritual aura won't allow it. So don't mourn what God removed. Celebrate what He's making room for. This is your unveiling. Your growth is now visible. Your radiance is not up for debate. You're becoming who you were always meant to be, and nothing can stop what's already in motion. Point 7, your vindication is a testimony. Everything you went through, Spirit Warrior, wasn't just pain. It was divine preparation in disguise. Life didn't break you. It broke the illusions around you. Every sleepless night, every betrayal, every moment you were overlooked or underestimated was not a defeat, but a sacred rite of passage. Think about it. Even diamonds are formed under immense pressure, and gold is purified by fire. You weren't being punished, you were being prepared. Spiritually, this is what ancient mystics call the refining fire of the soul. It's the spiritual alchemy where pain becomes wisdom, wounds become weapons of light, and silence becomes power. And now, your vindication is undeniable. It's not loud, it's not vengeful, it's graceful. Your peace, the one that nobody can shake anymore, is louder than any argument. That glow in your spirit, that joy that radiates from within, that's your clapback. That's the divine "I told you so" from the universe. You didn't need to retaliate because elevation is the best form of revenge. Science even confirms that people who transcend trauma with a sense of meaning and purpose display higher psychological resilience and even stronger immunity. That's not just spiritual talk, that's mind-body alignment in action. You didn't lose, you evolved. What fell away were the illusions, the false friendships, the shallow attachments, and every consequence now hitting those who wronged you. That's karma doing its job, not because you wished it upon them, but because the universal law of cause and effect never sleeps. You, Spirit Warrior, are living proof of divine justice. You were chosen, not because you were perfect, but because you were willing to rise. And now the truth is clear to everyone. The light that once made you a target is now your halo. Spirit Warriors, let this settle in your soul. You are divinely protected, you are covered, you are rising. Karma is real, but grace is greater. So stay focused, stay soft but solid. Let them talk, let them watch, let God work. Because when you're chosen, the battles are fierce, but the victories are divine. Stay awake, stay chosen, and keep walking in your power. Until next time, keep shining, chosen ones.